start.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Law School Made Easy at Law School Made Easy 256. Please subscribe to this channel, like and share. Subscribe. If you subscribe, just like and share. Like and share, subscribe. Thank you. Today we are going to do Buganda Agreement. But before we enter into Buganda Agreement, I want to take you to 1894 when Buganda was declared a British protectorate. Before that, remember the Scrum and Partition of Africa, where European countries were scrambling and fighting to get colonies in Africa, and Uganda was given the British. And in 1894, we officially became a British protectorate. Therefore, the British, in the bid to establish their rule, they decided to start with Buganda because Buganda was strategically located. Buganda was the strongest of all regions. Buganda was the more organized. So in any way, if you want to establish a rule, you start with someone that is organized. And therefore, they began by signing an agreement with Buganda, simply because Buganda was more organized. Now, in the signing of the agreement, the British was represented by Sir Harry Johnston, and then the young king, that is Daudi Chwa, was represented by the regents, that is Apollo Kagwa, Zakaya Singiri, Stanius Mugwanya, Nuha Mbogo, and this is very important, and all the county chiefs were part of the signatories. In this agreement, they set out 22 articles. But because we are looking at constitutional history, the history of our constitution, where could we have picked all these articles that we have in the 1995 constitution? So we are going to look at each of these articles and we relate them with the constitution. But as you answer, you explain the relevance of this article, why the British established it at a time, and then you relate with what it looks like in our constitution today. So let's go into these articles. We shall pick a few of them, like 5 articles, and then relate them. Let's start with Article 1. Article 1 of the Buganda Agreement suggested that there shall be the demarcation of the boundaries of Buganda. And this was because the British wanted to curtail, to end Buganda's expansionist policy or theories, and then also for easy administration. So we are saying this demarcation of Buganda boundary in Article 1 of Buganda Agreement, what does it look like in our constitution? It looks like Article 177 that creates districts. These districts are created for easy administration. It also looks like Article 178 and 179 that creates boundaries and then local government. So that is how you try to relate these articles of Buganda to the current constitution. We can pick Article 3 of Buganda Agreement. Article 3 suggests that Buganda shall be made to be on the same footing, on equal rank with all, same status with all the other regions. Remember, Buganda was ranking high, so the British said, no, we want everybody to be on the same footing. This is one of the articles that caused Buganda a problem right at Marlborough, at Lancaster, because all through Buganda was fighting to be on top. So it led Uganda into so many problems. But this Article 3 of Buganda Agreement, what does it look like in our constitution? What can we equate it to, rank it with in our constitution? We can rank it to Article 21 of the constitution that says everybody is free from discrimination. I think Article 21.1 suggests that nobody should be discriminated on lines of political, social, economic, and religious aspects. Also, 21.2, nobody shall be discriminated on lines of sex, color, age, race, and others. So that is how you try to link these articles. Let's pick Article 6. Article 6 of Buganda Agreement suggested that for as long as the Kabaka of Buganda was royal, submissive to Her Majesty's government and rule, then Her Majesty's government would recognize him as the native ruler of his people. What does this article look like in our constitution today? Yes, Article 246 of the constitution suggests that there shall be traditional rulers who will be leading different cultural organization. And there you see the Buganda, they have the king of Buganda, the Kabaka is the king of Buganda. We have Chabazinga, we have Inibusoga, we have Imolimoli, and like that. So that is how you try to link. But I urge you to read these articles in depth. If you read Article 6, you find that there was a gun salute given in that article, I think 10, and then where the queen is 20, some guns were given to the Kabaka. So if you read that article, try to read the argument and understand the argument. Let's pick another one. Maybe 12, that talks about taxes, that there shall be heart and gun tax. Of course, gun tax was brought in a bid that if everybody owned a gun, then they would give a lot of resistance to the British rule. So that is why this was established. However, we can let this idea of collecting gun and heart tax to the creation of 152 that creates the Uganda Revenue Authority with a mandate to collect all revenue. So Article 152 resembles Article 12 of the Buganda Agreement. Let's also pick Article 15 that divided the land into crown and Mairo land. So you would see in Order and Council that now the British government took over the crown land when you do Order and Council. But now let's concentrate on Article 15 that divided land into crown and Mairo land. This article, we can now link it. We can link this article to Article 237 of the Constitution that creates land in our Constitution, and everything about land is in there. Article 237. Let's pick maybe Article 8. Article 8 of the Buganda Agreement suggests that where we have issues white and non-white, then those issues shall be held in the British court, but black you can handle in your courts. So what does this mean? They're trying to establish some kind of judicial system, and we see that in our constitution today, Article 126 creates the courts of judicature. Okay, so that is how you try to relate these articles of the Buganda Agreement. We can pick another, maybe Article 10. Article 10 suggests that the Kabaka was given a mandate to appoint 2-3 people who would sit on the Luchiko, so as ex-officials, and among them was Prime Minister, the Katikiro, the Chief Justice Omulamuzi. Now, look at Article 108A. Remember, 108 in the Constitution is the creation of the Vice President, and 108A creates the Prime Minister. Maybe we picked the idea from there. Let's also look at the Chief Justice. Article 130 that creates the Supreme Court also creates the Chief Justice at the head of the Supreme Court. So we are saying it's possible we picked the idea of Omulamuzi, the Chief Justice, from the agreement, from the Article 10 of the Buganda Agreement. Maybe let's look at Article 16 and 17. That 16 talks about the forestry and 17 talks about the minerals. That the minerals shall be owned by the protectorate government. That one directly link it to Article 244 of the Constitution that says all minerals are in the hands of the government. So that is how you try to link. And finally, let us link Article 22 that suggested the understanding and reading of these articles were to be in both Luganda and English. But for purposes of interpretation, the official language would be English. And how can we link this? Link to Article 6 of the Constitution that says there shall be an unofficial language in this country, though we are still at crossroads to decide on which one is our official language. And very many other articles. If you look at Article 2, that the government of Uganda was to hand over its tribute that it was collecting from neighboring areas. That Article 2 of Buganda Agreement, link it with Article 152 that creates revenue. Also Article 4 that we missed. Article 4 suggests that all the money is revenue collected by Buganda shall be handed over to to the British government for you to distribute, and maybe the surplus would be shared between the British and the Buganda. So that Article 4 of the Buganda Agreement, you can link it to Article 153 of the Constitution that creates the consolidated fund, where all our monies, taxes, revenue, when collected, they are all put on the consolidated fund. So that is how you link this paper, because this is a constitutional history paper. So you link these articles to the articles we have in our constitution. Thank you so much. This is Law School Made Easy at Law School Made Easy 256. Subscribe, like. Thank you so much. Until next time.